Hey, what's up, fam? So, can we take a minute to make space and talk about black trans women? I think that's super important that we take like this 5-minute video to talk about them because I don't feel like we are. And I feel like we need to make space right now for black trans women specifically. And to my black trans brothers, I see you. Our revolution, us getting here as trans people, doesn't happen without black trans women. Marsha P. Johnson, Miss Major, without these people, we don't get here. Without so many black trans women, we don't get here. As a older black trans woman, how do I navigate these spaces now? What does healthcare look like for me as I get older? What does being black and trans look like? What is beautiful in the eyes of black trans women? And so many questions that I need answered. And I don't have these answers, and I don't even know who to turn to for these things. So I hit up the internet. I went looking for books or narratives or stories by black trans women talking about their experience growing up or going through their transition, and those stories are so few and far between. There are so few YouTubers or videos made around being a black trans woman. What I want to know is, what does transitioning look like to me? What does that narrative look like? What does it look like for other black trans women? What are we doing with our hair? How are we navigating makeup? How are we navigating being in mostly white trans spaces? There's not a lot of us out there, but yet we are the ones that seem to be getting murdered in droves. You can literally go through the list this year for TWOC and see that most of that is black trans women or trans women of color. And it just feels like we're not as represented. And people will be like, oh, well, Laverne Cox, Janet Mock. But that's not enough. We are so few and far between, and we are a precious commodity for the trans community. A lot of activists that I know, especially when it comes to trans people of color, are often trans women of color. We lead the marches. We are the voice for the people. We stand in the forefront. We want to be heard. We want to be seen. And it often feels like we're not. With the current political climate, it feels like more than ever we need to be focused on protecting these people. Because if things were scary before, it feels like they're going to get a lot scarier. Over the last 7 days, I've seen stuff brought forth, anything from protesting being illegal in Washington to bathroom bills becoming a thing again, and even people being cut off from using hormones altogether. And I haven't fact checked any of these things. All these things could just be fear mongering. But even that we can entertain those things, and those things that even plausibly sound like a thing, makes everything hella scary. So I think it's important that we at least make space right now. That you, as a trans woman of color, know that you are valued, and that you matter, and that you are so important, and that I think it's my duty and my privilege to help with that. For all those black trans women out there just starting your transition, I want you to know it's terrifying. It is freaking scary that your brownness, your blackness isn't viewed as feminine, that you aren't viewed as beautiful. Suffers so much violence, not only from white people and straight people, but black people as well. Your road is so hard, and it makes it so much more impressive that you get to this point. If you, as a black trans woman, right now are just starting your transition, I want you to know it is so worth it, because even though so many people will try to invalidate you, you learn so much about yourself. You learn how strong you are. You learn how strong you are. You learn how smart and resourceful you are. You, through your own means and your own narrative, find out what being black and beautiful is, or being brown and beautiful is. You do so much for trans women of color. Very existence, the fact that you exist means the world. Dating is super hard because everybody fetishizes you, and in terms of online statistics, we are probably one of the least desired people ever, but it's not because you're undesirable, it's because they can't handle it. You are everything they fear. You are strong, you are black, you are trans. You're every fetish they try to check off on Pornhub, but you are so much more than that. It's okay to cry. I think, especially when transitioning as a black trans woman, we have been raised in this super toxic masculinity scope that like crying is a weakness, and not only for black men, but as black women are taught that crying is somehow a weakness, that being upset is somehow a liability. Black non-binaries, I see you too, and you are just as valid. You are the rarest of unicorns. I see you. I think what I want to do is it's been on my mind as I've continued into my own, my own journey into discovering who I am as a black trans woman. That there are so few resources, there is so little representation, and even those that are in the larger scope of it all don't necessarily represent what it means to be a black trans woman. But what about you, the poor black girl who lives in LA, who's trying to find a job and can't find a job? You just got your name changed. What about you? What does that look like? What do you do? Who's on this ground floor teaching us? Who is the elders and the ancestors we're looking to get that energy, to learn what it means to be a black trans woman? So few of us, and so few of us that live long enough to even be able to tell those tales. It's upsetting. Right now, the goal is that every one of you make it to 60. That's my goal, is to make it to 60. It doesn't feel like I can do it sometimes, but I draw strength from having community. I draw strength from knowing that I am worth so much more than I think I am. Your resilience for TWOC is the most crucial part. For the 200 plus we lost this year, there's still another 500,000 of us wandering around here. There's still another 500,000 of us wandering around here, continuing to exist despite the fact that so many people don't want us to. So I'd say, hey, I see you. I value you, and I'm so glad you're alive. I just want you to know that I'll be here. I'll be posting videos. I want to show solidarity. I want to make content for you. I want to make content that not only affirms your transness, but affirms your blackness. Guide you as best as I can navigating this space, because I don't know what I'm doing. But I feel because I'm older and I've been at this now for almost 2 years that I may have some knowledge to share. Because I know when I started transitioning, I had no one to look to. I had to look at what it was to be a white trans woman and then work backwards and reverse engineer that shit. Because I'm hella smart. In your life, I just want to make space for you and find out what it is you need to feel complete, what it is you need to know, what you're scared of. If your fears mirror my fears, are you scared of dying alone? Are you scared that you're not beautiful and that your femininity isn't enough? Are you scared every day to go outside? All of that is hella real. It needs to be heard and validated. To know that you're not crazy, that you're not just exaggerating and being hysterical. To know that you matter and that you're not alone. So for TWOC, I ask all my fellow trans people, find a black femme, give them some money, give them some chocolate, take them clothes shopping, make space for them. So, comment below. Let me know what it means to be a black trans woman. Let me know how you're going to celebrate Tidor. Just let me know you exist. Give this a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to. And as always, I'm so happy to see you. So happy to meet you. So remember, stay lit, stay right, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.